Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and there's another controversy in the Magic the Gathering world. I know, you're as shocked as I am. So, you probably know who this is. I am not kidding. I do not track this kind of stuff, but somebody on Twitter named Elaine, and then I'll just read the whole title. Why not? Princess of Wales, Arrow Soon Legacy Pit. It's just hieroglyphics. I don't speak Twitter. And then she, her, and then some symbol in an Asian language that I don't speak. The gay pride flag, gotta have that as an emoji, of course, otherwise you're not actually allowed on Twitter, I believe is the rules. Then it just says activism, level 2 judge, and the judge is an emoji, that actually I can get behind. At rules lawyer bot, and then it says bot mom, which, does that mean you created it? STL expat, which I don't know if that's St. Louis or Seattle, probably Seattle. Canadian flag pretender, I don't get it. Come for the magic, stay for the social justice. This is not a parody account. People like this exist, and most of them are on Twitter. Most of them are why Biden's president. So that's who sent this out. And she put, tonight, Bill Stark, the project manager of Wizards Eventlink, posted an update in which he doubled down in refusing to implement manual pairings despite continuous passionate feedback from hundreds of judges. Now, see, I don't think that's true because I don't think there are hundreds of judges left, but sure, I am extremely disappointed, but not surprised. Read more. And then she, because it's Twitter and Twitter's useless, put like a giant massive paragraph of text as a JPEG. Or probably a PNG or one of those god-awful WebPs, don't even get me started. So it starts with pretty much everything I just read. And then it goes on to say, for those of you who don't know, last year Wizards of the Coast officially retired Wizards Event Reporter, which good in my opinion, by the way, and replaced it with Eventlink, a web-based application that is missing many of the advanced features that large tournament organizers rely on, specifically and most relevantly manual pairings, and that is what all this is about. You might think, why would they want to rig tournaments by saying, well, actually this person's going up against this person because we want them to win? Yeah, you certainly could. That's probably why they got rid of it. But let me just go on before I explain the whole thing, because I'm sure she does. Actually, I haven't read this yet. The ability to correct results and pairings manually is absolutely a necessity for self-respecting tournament organizers. Without this critical feature, it is impossible for a large event to fix errors in match reporting after pairings have already been posted. Yes. But it's also impossible to rig matches. Well, not impossible, but harder. So without this feature, judges can't take ownership of events. But without manual repairings, the only solution is to either 1, tell the players that they're out of luck, or 2, delete the entire round. And I have heard both, and both go over about as well as you could imagine. So you got to get everyone to stand up out of their chairs, repair the entire tournament, and do that with hundreds of people. Yeah. No. Oh, we lost the slip. Oh, we put in all the slips with all the reporting, but we forgot to put in yours, so it marked you as you never finished 1. Oops. Guess you're just out of round 2 and disqualified. Sorry. Because of a clerical error, boy, you get close enough to the prize money, you could actually sue them. Depends what the terms say when you sign up, but yeah. No matter what, you could sue them for the travel money and potentially win. You'd at least have a case. So you really can't do that. You need to let people manually fix stuff. So she goes on to say, WOTC defends this decision by saying that many TOs were using this feature in abusive ways. Oh my gosh, I predicted it. I assure you, I did not read this ahead of time. And saying that Eventlink has additional safeguards against misreported results, and to their credit, there are safeguards. But something bad can always happen. Now I'm not even sure what side I'm on with this, guys, because they're preventing massive cheating where they're like, oh, we don't want those 2 people to go up against each other because we want them to be in the finale together or people won't watch. We can't have one of them get eliminated. Oh, this person with a big fan base, big following that we wanted to win the tournament. They're only 2-2. Let's just pair them up against somebody who's awful. If you're wondering what WOTC meant by abusive ways, that is what they meant in my estimation. So they finally did something about cheating, and now they're all up in arms about, oh no, what about errors? Well, don't make errors. I know it's not quite that simple, but just don't be careless. Don't just think, oh, I'll just speed through this. Oh, we'll just hire people who don't know what they're doing. We'll just, data entry, we don't need to be good at that. Oh, we don't have to verify that people aren't entered twice. No, you do, or you owe them a refund and then more. So just stop making mistakes. Now, I'm all about personal responsibility and like, you know, I don't need the government saying, well, 1% of people are going to misuse this, so we need to take it away from everyone. I don't even think that me and an 80-year-old lady should both have the same speed limit laws, you know what I mean? Like, we have different capabilities. So when you lower everything to the lowest common denominator and say, well, the dumbest, worst, most careless people are going to do this, so now we're going to restrict everything, that's just bad. I'm all about just let people make mistakes, let them screw something up with their own stupidity, and it'll either destroy them and get them out of the market, or it will like encourage them to actually do better. Either way, that's fine. It's all about like, I don't know what you'd call it, but like, okay, if you apply that to this, well, which side is it actually on? Did they put the bumpers on and say, no, we're not going to let you undo your mistake, you shouldn't have made it, give them a refund and do better next time? Tough. And just say, we had to eliminate cheaters, so, oh well, deal with it, this is how we're doing it. Or do they say, you know what, hands off, total free-for-all, libertarian, let's go. You can do whatever you want. You want to misuse it, you get caught, that's on you. You want to rig matches, that's on you. You're going to, you know, suffer the consequences, but if a small percentage of people are going to use it for something bad, great, we'll try and do something about that. But for the overwhelming responsible percentage, yeah, you've got volunteers, you're trying to save money, you're trying to run a tournament, you're helping us out, and somebody put something in wrong. Somebody forgot to check someone in. Somebody showed up late because, I don't know, whatever. These things happen in the real world, and we're going to give you full permission to do whatever you want. You know, I like really open software, operating systems, just anything. Like, I want full control and responsibility because I'm going to use it responsibly. What everybody else is going to do is not my problem, unless it affects me. So I can really see both sides of this. They almost sound like the same thing. It just depends whose side you're on. So at the end of the day, I think the tipping point is they got rid of cheating in a way. But I've never organized a large tournament, and I've never used this new software. I mean, the biggest tournament I think I ran had like 20, 30 people at it. So I don't know at a tournament this size if the people aren't careless idiots who hire people who aren't good at the job and that other kind of stuff. Like if they put in the proper amount of effort, how much that would cost? Is it feasible? Can you get good enough people that don't make constant mistakes? Can you fix your processes, look back and eliminate issues? But what if somebody wants to get in brand new? And this happens all the time. This is not a new thing. We want to throw a 500-person tournament, we're going to do it, but we've never done it before. Oh, crap, we made a mistake. Oh, no. You can't say you should have known better if it's something they haven't foreseen because they've never done it before, okay? Like, if it's your 10th tournament this year, maybe you should get your crap together and stop making pairing mistakes. But, you know, typos happen. Like, it's just, you know, they shouldn't. Like, I'm originally a programmer. They shouldn't. They can't. And how many mistakes do surgeons make? A lot less than the person checking out my groceries at the grocery store, okay? Checklists, effort, strategy, frameworks, process, auditing, looking back, fixing things. You can get to that level, but like I said, what if you're brand new to it? Boy, that would be very unfriendly. So, the fact that it's somewhat mandatory too is just awful. As far as I know, if it's going to be a sanctioned event, and I think even if it's not, if you want any kind of credit or anything, they're basically forcing you to use the software. I heard some big people are just saying, you know what, try and make us. And then they're just going straight up to, like some other third-party, you know, tracking thing. They said there are better tournament tracking and like pairings programs on the Google Play Store for like free or close to it. That is embarrassing. So let's get into the specific scenarios because there's actually a second half to what she wrote. So I gave my basic high-level opinion, but some of these, they might sway me, and I only kind of skimmed these. So she says, but something bad can always happen. At a recent tournament for which I was on staff, a player intentionally misreported a win for themselves after the match went extremely late. The opponent didn't have a phone to verify the report. There's your process problem. You could have fixed it. Everybody has to have a phone. If you don't have one, have a bunch of dummy garbage, you know, whatever, offline Wi-Fi inactive phones you can have. There you go. Charge them, wipe them every event, done. And who's going to show up with a phone? Come on. So they didn't realize that his match was reported wrong until halfway through the next round. It's your responsibility to make sure that they're reported right. It says that right in there. Both players must check. You must ensure that both players check. 100% process problem. She does not have any kind of point. So we were able to disqualify the infracting player, but we were not able to retroactively correct the result. What does that have to do with manual pairings? Give the person the win, they got a DQ, done, move on with your life. But the fact that you can't change past pairings, that has nothing to do with anything she said, and yes, you really need to do that. But seriously, this is not hard. Require both people to be present to sign off on it on paper, or both to agree to it on a phone, the end. Simple solution, it will work 100% of the time if you enforce it. So, 0 point there whatsoever. I still don't see what that has to do with pairings. I'm sure they do something to try and fix it with pairings. I don't know if pairment gets to dummy player. Like, these are all hacky workarounds. Just Stop it from happening in the first place. If Wizards of the Coast wants Magic to continue as a competitive game, these sorts of manual safeguards against events screwing up need to be in place, or results will always be thrown into question no matter how robust your system is. Incorrect. This is to say nothing about the infantilization of judges, some with decades of specialized experience in a very technical field. Oh, boo-hoo, they now charge them money. Shouldn't you be mad about that? Yeah, now costs money instead of pays money to be a judge, by the way. In the past, Bill Stark has stated that judges are not trusted to not abuse this feature by, for example, manually pairing their friends against weaker players. Yes, they have been caught doing that. Yes, judges are crooked as hell. Yes, especially at one giant tournament running company. I'm not going to name them. Probably not the one you think unless you watch my channel for a while. They are crooked, racist, sexist, and horrible. They will lie about the rules. They will do anything they can do to take certain skin colors, genders, and orientations and throw them under the bus. And they are a far-left organization, in case you think I mean that the other way. They've been accused of with strong evidence of this many times. So then she goes on to continue whining. In short, Bill Stark is creating a software product for a specialized field that he has never worked in himself and refuses to listen to the end users. Incorrect, he just knows better than you. Continually costing judges and tournament organizers tens of thousands of dollars a week in brand degradation. That is ridiculous. That's something that like is the definition of that wouldn't stand up in court or to any kind of scrutiny. That's just a made-up number. And brand degradation, like fan goodwill and blah. That's all just like, I'm going to write down my stock this quarter nonsense. Okay, it's not a real thing. Please continue to provide this feedback to WOTC until they give us the feature we need to properly do our jobs. Or you can just properly do your job so that you don't need the features. You can do that. So then, because Twitter, she replied to her own tweet with a poll. It's on Straw Poll. It had quite a few votes, upwards of like 200. Do you feel that Eventlink software created by WOTC, blah, 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 basically, okay, should it function this way or manual pair, whatever. So remember, these are her followers who are like, yes, queen, I agree with anything you say. So massively biased, even then, 82%, 154 people said, yes, it needs a manual pairing option. 12.7% said no. I don't know enough about this to choose, was like 3%, and maybe I'm not really sure was 1.60. But roughly 20% of people think, no, it does not need a manual pairing option. And the other 80 were like, oh yeah, you want this and you kind of know things and I follow you? Okay. I think if this was like an unbiased survey, it would be a lot closer to 50-50. People are like, yeah, I've been to a bunch of tournaments. I've met crooked biased judges. You want to talk about rigging matches? They used to give longtime players 2 free wins. They didn't even have to play the first 2 rounds because they wanted them to get to the like top 16, top 8, whatever, so that they'd be like, oh, this person won again. They're so great. You should follow them because it's free advertising. And they just wanted this ridiculous like esports fangirl and fanboy culture. Come on. So even WOTC was pro rigging matches if it benefited them and looked good. So I'm on team get rid of the manual pairings. I don't want to be cheated against, and I would never know if it happened. Now, this person who reported the wrong result, it's half their fault, half the tournament organizer's fault for not catching it or doing something about it, and half, that's right, 150%, their opponent's fault for not verifying it. Oh, it's too hard, and what if they don't have phones, and we don't want 2 people walking up to the counter, we don't need 2 signatures. My F&M that I used to attend a long time ago required both signatures. If it came up with those signatures, they would go find the other person and said, is this correct? And if you were caught faking it, you just had like your friend scribble some signature and you said it was your opponent, they would ban you for life if they caught you. They would retain the paper slips and all that, and that was paper. Really advanced paper and pen technology. I know, so tedious and long. And now we've got this digital thing where you could just require both users to sign off on it. Now, I don't know if that's enforced in the system or like an option. It sounds like it's not. That's what they need to add. They need to go the other way with it. Just prevent the tiny things instead of, let's just let the people do whatever they want, because as a player, I don't trust them. So I'm going to go pro player versus pro event organizer. And just say, no, don't let them touch anything. Now, if they put you in wrong, that's not very pro player, but then that's on them. Just don't go to another one of their tournaments and demand a refund. Simple. Or, in fact, since everyone's cheating anyway, just don't go to a Magic tournament, period. So there's that factor. But yeah, Eventlink, it took them like 2 extra years to make it. It's trash, but the Wizards event reporter was trash too. There's just nothing good about this non-traversy. It's like a controversy, but nobody gives a crap and they're all wrong. So that's what I think about it. It's a little bit more nuanced, but I'm on team no thanks, I don't want to get cheated against. Real simple. So hey, thanks for watching, guys. I'll get back to spoilers right after this video, and I'll see you guys next time.